To stop Xing Yue's conversation with Lian, Gao Zhen He kisses her. Shortly after the kiss, the two get separated. In order to find Gao Zhen He, Xing Yue climbs a tall structure, and people assume she intends to jump. By the time the two are reunited, it is all over social media that Gao Zhen was the reason Xing Yue intended to take her life. Already fed up with Xing Yue's antics, Gao Zhen He takes her to the entrance of the cliff and leaves her there. However, he later goes back for her. When he eventually finds her, he saves her from a strange man and takes her home. Instead of admitting his actions, Gao Zhen He tells Xing Yue that he was training her abilities to locate him. Later, Gao Zhen He sneaks into Chen Wencon's room and starts snooping around. In the room, he finds a box, but before he has an opportunity to crack it open and take a look, Xing Yue walks in on him and assumes that he is doing something wrong. Although she doesn't like lying and stealing, she helps him escape the room before he gets caught. Back at home, Sha Na tells Gao Zhen He she has booked him for a mission orchestrated by Lian. The mission is to compete against his rival Dong Yunxi to secure a very rare gem from a mine in Tudong. When Gao Zhen He leaves for the airport, Sha Na is left to look after Xing Yue, but she lets her go to the zoo with Yi Tan. Before boarding the plane, Gao Zhen He sees Xing Yue on a live stream with Yi Tan and immediately doubles back to save her from exposing her true identity. After he saves her, Sha Na convinces Gao Zhen He to take Xing Yue along on his mission, saying she might be helpful, and this turns out to be the case. In Tudong, Gao Zhen He and Xing Yue encounter a few obstacles set up by Dong Yunxi. As a result, Dong Yunxi gets ahead of them. To catch up, the pair decide to take a shortcut through the woods called the Death Route. The Death Route is riddled with landmines and snakes. While walking through, Xing Yue steps on a landmine, and Gao Zhen He saves her. Eventually, both Xing Yue and Gao Zhen He make it out of the Death Route unharmed. When they reach the mine, the pair learn that Dong Yunxi was there first. And the mine owner sells a fake gem to Gao Zhen He, but with Xing Yue's help, Gao Zhen realizes that he is being deceived. Upon returning from Tudong, Gao Zhen He is declared the winner of the contest since he was able to figure out the gem was a fake. As news of the competition spreads in the gem hunting industry, Dong Yunxi's company begins to lose clients as they are all now interested in working with Gao Zhen He. This upsets Dong Yunxi, and he vows to remain Gao Zhen He's sworn enemy. Later, Sha Na starts to think deeply about the relationship between Gao Zhen He and Xing Yue, and she realizes that Gao Zhen He has grown fond of Xing Yue. Determined to hold on to the man she loves, Gao Zhen He, Sha Na tries to get rid of Xing Yue by giving her a fake star stone. Since Xing Yue can tell faux gems apart from original ones, she immediately knows it is a fake. Upset that her plan failed, Sha Na resorts to plan B and tells Xing Yue that Gao Zhen He has sold the stone because he only cares about money and not her. This information leaves Xing Yue heartbroken, so she locks herself in her room and calls Yi Tan. Before she can give him full details, Gao Zhen He climbs in through the window and attempts to apologize. The apology doesn't go as planned because the lights go out, and Gao Zhen He has a panic attack. The darkness makes him remember his past and his mother's death. Even after the lights are back on, Gao Zhen He is still overcome by his emotional trauma. Shortly after, Yi Tan shows up and takes Xing Yue away with him. At Yi Tan's house, Xing Yue is visibly miserable, so Yi Tan takes her out for dessert to cheer her up, but that doesn't work. At the shop, the two try to figure out why Xing Yue feels sad, and eventually, Xing Yue admits that she wants to make Gao Zhen He happy. Thinking that money will make Gao Zhen He happy, Xing Yue decides to become a social media star in order to get rich. With Yi Tan's help, Xing Yue starts streaming live, and soon, she starts to gain massive popularity, especially after she instantaneously catches a falling flower pot to save Yi Tan. The video of Yi Tan and Xing Yue goes viral to the point that it rakes in over 6 million views. Knowing that money is Xing Yue's motivation for making live streams, Yi Tan gives her a bank card containing all her earnings. On the other hand, Gao Zhen He is very gloomy because he misses Xing Yue. Since he thinks she is still upset with him, he doesn't go to her. He stays back at home with Sha Na and Qin Shu, and the three discuss their work in the next line of action. Instead of paying attention to the conversation, Gao Zhen He continues to watch the video of Xing Yue over and over again. Finally, unable to stop himself, he drives over to Yi Tan's house. When Gao Zhen He pulls up in front of the house, Xing Yue spots him immediately and runs to him. The two have a heart-to-heart conversation, and Xing Yue tells Gao Zhen He that though she is mad at him, she wants to make him to be happy. She then hands over the card containing all her money to him, but he refuses it. Before taking his leave, Gao Zhen He asks Yi Tan to be Xing Yue's temporary guardian, stating that he will come back for her. At home, Gao Zhen He learns from Sha Na and Qin Shu that the star stone has been processed into a blue star sapphire worth millions. They also tell him that testing has been carried out, and there are no precious stones to be mined anywhere near the cliff that Xing Yue came from. Sha Na points out that this means Xing Yue is of no use to them anymore. She tells Gao Zhen He that he can either sell the stone and find an excuse to get rid of Xing Yue or return the stone to her and send her on her way. Yi Tan is elated by the news that he is now Xing Yue's guardian, and the next day he takes Xing Yue to the mall, where she is pounced on by a throng of fans. Xing Yue does not like the attention since it means she can no longer have privacy. In search of a remedy to the situation, Yi Tan and Xing Yue go to Gao Zhen He's house and ask for help. Gao Zhen He's solution is to turn Xing Yue into a regular girl so that people will lose interest in her. To make Xing Yue appear more regular, Sha Na gives her a makeover, and she emerges looking beautiful. Xing Yue's beauty stuns both Gao Zhen He and Yi Tan. After the makeover, the plan to make people lose interest in Xing Yue takes off in full swing. Through it all, Gao Zhen He tries to remain focused on his plan to befriend Chen Wenkan and learn his secret. The more time Yi Tan spends with Xing Yue, the more his feelings for her grow, so he decides to ask her to be his girlfriend. On a livestream, he announces to his fans that he will ask her to be his girlfriend at a specific location later that evening and asks for their help. According to Yi Tan's plan, Xing Yue will wear a fox costume, and his fans will present her with flowers leading up to his proposal. Back at the house, Sha Na, Gao Zhen He, and Qin Shu are finalizing a plan that will help them figure out the contents of Chen Wenkan's box. Just as the trio are leaving the house to initiate their plan to learn Chen Wenkan's secret, Gao Zhen He learns of Yi Tan's plan to ask Xing Yue to be his girlfriend via a live stream. Immediately Gao Zhen He heads out to the location Yi Tan selected to stop it from happening, and he takes Qin Shu with him. On reaching the place, Gao Zhen He hides Xing Yue in his. He ends up taking the confession for her and ruining Yi Tan's plan. Since Gao Zhen He has abandoned their mission to stop Yi Tan from asking Xing Yue to be his girlfriend, Sha Na is left to keep an eye on Chen Wenkan, and things get out of hand. Chen Wenkan is in danger and almost gets kidnapped by Dong Yunzai's men. As a result, a fight breaks out between Dong Yunzai's men and the men Sha Na hired to look out for Chen Wenkan. Immediately, Sha Na calls Qin Shu and informs him. Quickly, Qin Shu and Gao Zhen He head back, bringing Xing Yue with them. When they return to the house, Gao Zhen He and Qin Shu meet Sha Na, and she confronts Gao Zhen He for his decision to jeopardize their mission because of Xing Yue. In response to this, Gao Zhen He assures Sha Na that he will get things back on track, but she remains upset. Once again, Sha Na feels like she is losing Gao Zhen He to Xing Yue, so she challenges Xing Yue to a duel in a bid to win him back. Xing Yue accepts the challenge, and Sha Na drives her to an isolated area of the city. When Xing Yue and Sha Na reach their destination, Sha Na starts the duel, but she soon realizes she is no match for Xing Yue. Sha Na starts crying and convinces Xing Yue to let her have Gao Zhen He's love. Though Xing Yue is not even sure what love is, she agrees. Back at the house, Gao Zhen He has managed to locate Chen Wenkan. He also manages to convince Chen Wenkan to sleep over since his apartment is not safe. Gao Zhen He's plan is to make Chen Wenkan reveal his secrets. However, this plan fails because Sha Na and Xing Yue show up at the house shortly after. To get some alone time, Gao Zhen He enters the wine cellar in his house where the blue star sapphire and other precious gems are kept. Surprisingly, Xing Yue manages to crack the code, and she enters the vault to find him. Luckily for Gao Zhen He, Xing Yue does not identify the blue star sapphire as her star stone because it has now been processed. As the two discuss, Gao Zhen He makes Xing Yue promise not to tell Chen Wenkan about the wine cellar or his plans. Xing Yue agrees under the condition that Gao Zhen He will no longer lie and steal. Back upstairs, Gao Zhen He, Chen Wenkan, Xing Yue and Sha Na have dinner together. After dinner, they have drinks and play games till everyone except Chen Wenkan falls asleep. With everyone asleep, Chen Wenkan starts snooping around the house, but Gao Zhen He wakes up to find him attempting to open the door to the cellar. After spotting Gao Zhen He approaching, Chen Wenkan immediately starts acting drunk to avoid suspicion. The next morning, Gao Zhen He leaves the house and Xing Yue tails him in a cab suspecting that he was going to do something wrong. Eventually, she learns that Gao Zhen He was just visiting a blind boy. In truth, Gao Zhen He planned to investigate Chen Wenkan's room, but he couldn't with Xing Yue around. Instead he returns home. At the house, Yi Tan shows up with takeout, and while the others are eating, he pulls Gao Zhen He aside and confronts him for ruining his proposal. The two argue back and forth, and Gao Zhen He makes it clear that he doesn't want Yi Tan and Xing Yue to be together, but he doesn't admit that he has feelings for her, but Yi Tan can see right through him. Since Xing Yue's presence ruined the original plan, Qin Shu, Sha Na, and Gao Zhen He devise a new plan to keep Chen Wenkan away from his house long enough for them to search his room. When Sha Na and Qin Shu leave with Chen Wenkan to carry out the plan, Gao Zhen He and Xing Yue are left alone in the house. Xing Yue accuses Gao Zhen He of being up to no good, but he ignores her. Overcome by the need to get Xing Yue off his back, Gao Zhen He takes her downstairs to the cellar and tells her the truth about the blue star sapphire. He apologizes for having it processed and gives it back to her so she can return to her people, but to his surprise, she gives him the gem back, saying she will only return home with him. In response to this, Gao Zhen He says he will only follow Xing Yue home if he falls in love with her. Unbothered, Xing Yue assures him that he will fall in love with her. In one last attempt to get rid of Xing Yue, Gao Zhen He tells her to move in with Yi Tan, but she refuses his offer. Left with no other choice, Gao Zhen He accepts that Xing Yue is going nowhere. After their plan is successful, Chen Wankan has no other choice than to move in with Gao Zhen He. Before Chen Wankan's arrival, Gao Zhen He preps Xing Yue for the possibility that she might have to lie. He also buys her a box of socks. Shortly after, Chen Wankan arrives with Sha Na and Qin Shu. When Sha Na sees Xing Yue still in the house, she gets upset and leaves angrily with Qin Shu. Still suspicious of Gao Zhen He and his friends, Chen Wankan starts asking Xing Yue questions, and again Xing Yue lies to protect her identity and keep Gao Zhen He's secret. As time passes, Chen Wankan gets more comfortable in the house, and he begins to watch television with Xing Yue. One of the shows brings up the topic of love, and Xing Yue is intrigued by it, so she begins to ask questions but she doesn't receive satisfactory answers. Later that day, Chen Wankan, Gao Zhen He, and Xing Yue play games together. One of the games brings up the topic of love, and once again, Xing Yue starts asking questions. Since Sha Na is still sulking, Qin Shu goes off to meet Yi Tan and asks him to tell him his horoscope with Sha Na. Eventually, the two bond over the fact that they share a mutual romantic rival, Gao Zhen He. Back at Gao Zhen He's house, the game continues until it is interrupted by Lian, who has come to visit. Since he does not want Chen Wankan to see Lian, Gao Zhen He suggests that they talk in her coffee shop. Before heading out, Gao Zhen He contacts Sha Na and asks her to go over to his house to keep an eye on Chen Wankan and Xing Yue. During their conversation, Lian confesses her feelings for Gao Zhen He, but he turns her down. On his way out, Gao Zhen He gets into a fight with Dong Yunxi. Back at the house, Chen Wankan tells Xing Yue that being in love is like feeling electric shocks, so she goes on to electrocute herself. In a bid to save Xing Yue, Chen Wankan touches her and also gets electrocuted. When Sha Na arrives at the house, she meets Xing Yue and Chen Wankan in their predicament, and she immediately saves them. Shortly after things are back to normal, Qin Shu and Yi Tan arrive Gao Zhen He's house, and the five start playing drinking games and having fun together. When Gao Zhen He returns home, the mini party is still ongoing, and so no one pays any attention to him. Moments later, the mini party ends because everyone but Xing Yue and Gao Zhen He has fallen asleep. However, when Xing Yue tries to talk to Gao Zhen He, he acts petty and goes to his bedroom because she didn't speak to him earlier. To get Gao Zhen He's attention, Xing Yue follows him into his room and starts jumping on his bed. Eventually, he talks to her, and out of nowhere, she asks if he wants to love. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like if you think we should make the next part. Thank you.